3, 2, 1.
What is this? What? Calm down.
He's my announcer now. He flexes while he does it too. He's like, 3, 2.
As he shits himself.
Hulk Hogan over there.
Sidebar. There was a little comic of the guy doing like the butterfly like peck things.
Yeah.
As soon as he goes, I'm gonna be so good at giving hugs.
Congratulations, you've discovered the lost level.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 76 of The Lost Level. I'm Adam.
And I'm Chris.
And I'm Alex.
So this week we will be talking about the Lego Movie, The Last of Us DLC, and a bunch of other game news and movie news, things along those lines.
Oh, the Titanfall beta.
Don't forget that. Beta, yeah.
You forgot because you didn't get a chance to play it. Oh.
I know, I'm like totally out of the loop on this one, so you guys have to get me excited for it. Talk me into buying an Xbox One.
Oh, it's going to be easy for this game.
All right, so...
Yeah, this is definitely the system seller. As well, we're going to round out the podcast in games and movie news as well. So, I guess since you talked it up, let's talk Titanfall.
Titanfall is the new game by Respawn Entertainment. What if you do not know who Respawn Entertainment is, it is formed by the West and Zampala, who were the head of Infinity War that made Modern Warfare 2 until they got fired, and there was a bunch of legal stuff that gets really weird and convoluted, and I don't really quite understand it because I am not smart.
Activision dicked them over, long story short.
Yeah. But, so they went off and formed Respawn Entertainment, and this is their first game, Titanfall, for the Xbox One and PC.
And Xbox 360.
And really?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Comes out like 2 weeks later.
Okay. Whatever. But it's really good. Me and Chris both spent time with the beta, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the beta, to be honest. And I'm not a multiplayer person by any means. I don't play a lot of multiplayer online just because I don't like dealing with people. But Titanfall is the perfect game for me because, A, I'm not very good at it. Or at multiplayer games, yes. Should I say. They put grunts out there for me to kill. Easy AI grunts that kind of just stand around and like look at you as you shoot them in the face, and then it gives me that satisfied feeling like, hey, I did something this round, rather than my normal Halo or like my Call of Duty or even like Battlefield,
where you're the grunt.
I'm the one getting shot in the face. Exactly. So this game actually gives me the chance to like shoot people, and I feel like I accomplished something during that round.
And you do, because those grunts add to your team's score. If you farm those grunts, like everyone could be doing the exact same thing on each side. You know, the same amount pilot kills. Pilots are the
actual players.
Yes, the actual players. The same, Titan kills. But the team that has the most grunt kills is going to win because those just add to your score. So if you farm those and you're good at farming those, you could really help your team out.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, well, not necessarily like a class system in Battlefield where you can help by supplying people with ammunition and health and stuff like that. But it's similar in the sense that you don't necessarily have to be that hardened killer.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely helps out people who don't have that ability to play 40 hours a week, or they can still like just pop it in, play it, and still get enjoyment out of it, and still help out their team. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this, guys. When you describe the game like this, it sounds almost like it's too easy. Is that the case?
No, not at all. Because there's still the other players that can kill you. I mean, you still have to deal with that. But it's
6-on-6. Which was a strategic thing for them to do, because like they didn't want to put more than 6-on-6.
Yeah,
because they felt that there was too many people on the battlefield. They added the grunts to it. There's enough people on the battlefield for you to always be active.
Okay.
You have people jumping into Titans. You have to fight some Titans. You have some. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, like the pilots, they have jetpacks and stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I've already
they could wall run. They could double jump, and it gets insane.
It's very fast paced from what I've been hearing.
It is pretty fast paced, and that's the thing. The maps are small enough where you're comfortable with having stuff around you at all times. It's not like this huge, gigantic map. It's only 6 players, and you're like spending 10 minutes trying to find somebody, get shot in the face, have to respawn again. Like, damn, that sucked. And then another 5 minutes for you to find somebody else. The maps are small enough where you're always getting engaged. There's a radar that you can see everybody on. For me, like, because I said, as I mentioned earlier, like, I'm not very good at multiplayer games. I just don't have the time to actually get good anymore. But like, I already witnessed some guy like doing an amazing, like, he was running around the corner. We met face to face. He immediately jumped with a jetpack over me, did a double jump, and like flipped around. I'm like, what the shit? It's like he's flying over me. I'm like, oh, these people
Matrix
are
shit happening.
Yeah, like, this guy's way too good. And like, you know, coming around behind me and shot me in the back. But you'll get that, but then I respawn and I go shoot some grunts and I feel good again.
Yeah,
You know, you have the type of level players that are going to be better than you, obviously, but you still get the satisfaction.
So it's the type of game that caters to a very wide audience, it sounds like.
Right.
of
And then,
course.
and if you get kills on the battlefield, the faster your Titan will respawn. You have different perks for your Titans and all stuff, like kind of like Call of Duty and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They gave you like a good taste on it. They gave you 14 levels to level up in the beta. You had a couple different, or three different Titans to choose from.
Well, they only really give you one. Well, only one of the types of Titans, but the loadouts are different.
No, they give you 3 different Titans. They
Did
give
they
you
give you
like
3?
Yeah, they give you 3 different Titans.
Oh, okay.
That you can choose from, like a tank Titan, kind of like a faster Titan, like a average Titan. It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. Like
And you know, here's the thing that's also beautiful about it. Like, if your team loses, you have the last minute or so of the round is your team trying to get extracted. So at this point, everyone has 1 life left, and you have to run to the extraction point. Both sides only have 1 life left. So the losing team has to run to the extraction point, get on their ship, and blast off.
Okay.
So, like, even if your team loses, if you're able to get to that extraction point and escape, you still feel like the sense of accomplishment. Like, yes, I at least got out of there. I got those points for escaping and everything. And while that time, the opposing team that won, they have a chance to destroy the extraction ship. So that just gives like the extra boost. Like, okay, let's do this now.
Kick them while they're down.
Exactly. So I mean, there's that sense of satisfaction if you're the opposing team and you destroy that evac ship.
Yeah.
And there's the sense of satisfaction if you're the losing team and you extract. You're like, at least I got out alive. I helped my friends get out alive. You know, you get. It's very balanced in that way. Like it still makes you feel like you've accomplished something, no matter what you do, no matter how bad you get your ass kicked. You still feel like you've done something, and it's gratifying to
And
the end.
that's new to the genre too. I mean,
right.
Oh, yeah.
It's
every
kinda
other
like
multiplayer game, you kind of like end of round is end of round. It's boom. It's this score versus that score, and that's it.
Yeah, it almost feels like a Left 4 Dead type of thing where you got to like extract, and that's interesting. And then the fact is, like, all right, the round's over. Then all of a sudden they're like, all right, go. If the winning team's like, all right, go to the evacuation point or the extraction point, and you have to like run over there and try to kill or pop people off if they're trying to get onto the plane.
I think it's interesting that, like Alex said, that it's just there's no respawning. It's
Right.
one
Yeah.
death.
During the extraction phase, yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's dude. We had a blast playing it.
Oh god.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I had, that's the most fun I've had in a multiplayer in a long time.
Very cool. So is this the game that's going to move some of those Xbox Ones off of store shelves?
I want to say yes.
Yeah.
I
Especially if you don't have a high end PC.
I honestly want to say yeah. It's the system seller.
Yeah. 'Cause
Anybody who's interested in multiplayer, it's going to be like, yeah, this is the game that everybody's playing right now.
I think as long as they market it well, letting people know that, hey, these are the dudes that made Modern Warfare 1 and 2, you're going to love it.
I don't think they're going to market it like that though.
Oh, I don't think they can. No, I think that
they're just going to be like, hey, look, this is Titanfall. This is the game that you want to play.
it already has enough buzz around it, though. Like, after this beta, everybody's Penny Arcade's talking about it. I mean, everyone is talking about this, and it's going to push those systems off the shelves.
That's good, man. I mean,
yeah, I think it's going to definitely help out with the huge gap between PS4 and Xbox One.
It'll narrow it down. I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
It being an exclusive title, it's definitely something that Microsoft has that's going to help them out.
Oh, for sure. So, have we convinced you? Are you ready to play Titanfall?
I'm very excited to try it out on one of your Xbox Ones before I buy it.
Okay.
But, maybe if the rumors are true of an Xbox One price drop by the end of the year, who knows?
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. I think we talked about it enough.
Oh, yeah.
We highly recommend it. We're buying it both at launch.
Oh, God, yeah.
All right. Why don't we talk about The Last of Us DLC? Adam?
Cool. It's actually, I was the only one that played it out of the three of us.
You're just the odd man out.
Hopefully by the end of my short discussion regarding this, you guys will both want to play this or will have decided that you need to play it.
In all honesty, I do want to play it, but that price tag scared me.
$15. I was going to talk about that near the end of it. To me, it didn't sting as much because I bought the season pass for The Last of Us when the game came out in June.
Mm-hmm.
So when I downloaded it now, it felt like I didn't pay anything for it.
Okay.
So I did pay for it 6-7 months ago, whatever the case may be, and basically it just doesn't feel like I paid for it at this point, just because of the time span that has elapsed since the game released. But I've been really looking forward to it. It really ties in very, very well with the story of the main chunk of The Last of Us. It's basically, without too many spoilers, it focuses on two aspects of Ellie within the universe. So it actually goes between flashbacks of her actually looking for supplies after Joel is injured in the game.
Really?
Yeah, so there's parts where she's in a mall looking for supplies, and Joel is still unconscious from being injured, which anybody that's played the game knows that part really well. He was injured very severely and almost dies, and a lot of people actually felt that he died during part of the game. But anyways, doesn't matter. The DLC flip-flops between that portion of her story and before she actually meets Joel, when she's still living in the city and she's basically leaving at night to go on an adventure with her best friend.
Wow, I like that.
And how she gets bitten. It's a small spoiler alert, I guess. If anybody hasn't played Last of Us by now, you're dumb because it's great. Ellie's bitten. She is
I don't know if we should
immune.
be divulging that information because there's a lot of people that probably haven't played it yet.
Well, too late, dude.
Wow.
It's
like
been,
no holds barred.
It's been over
fuck
half a
you
year
guys.
since that game came out, and if you haven't played it by now, you're probably not going to play it because it's not necessarily run its course, but I feel that the statute of limitations on spoilers has passed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it explains how Ellie gets bitten and how her friend gets bitten, and it's definitely part of the universe in the sense that the characters are so well developed. Ellie, once again, is voice acted by the same girl who voice acted her in the main portion of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys look back at the time when the game first came out and we talked about it, we talked about how believable the characters were and how you actually felt for them. And the same is true of this. And this DLC pretty much just focuses on Ellie. And I'll venture to say that the majority of the main chunk of the game is a Joel plotline, right? With Ellie as kind of, the sidekick.
It's Joel's story, pretty much.
Yeah, in the DLC, Left Behind, it's all Ellie. And she is really, really well developed, and she's a whole different person in the prequel portion of the DLC. And it really helps you understand who she is, and there's some really nice nods to dialogue in the main game. It's not very long. I'm going to tell you guys, it's not super long. I think I beat it in like 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah, it's that's where the price point kind of kicks you in the nuts.
That hurts.
But there's still the 4 main difficulty levels for it, so decent replayability. I'd say at least 2 playthroughs just to kind of find all the collectibles and stuff like that. But if you really want to see the big picture to the game, play the DLC. You won't regret it.
Okay. You were winning me over with the DLC because the fact that it goes back and forth from like current in-game back to when she was still kind of like unsure herself.
Yeah.
And I I was worried about playing that way. Because like we got to know Ellie very well in Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see her character develop, and she became like, you know, an actual hunter. She became this person that I liked playing as. I was kind of worried about going back to DLC or going to the DLC and having to play her before that evolution of herself, and it just being completely different.
Well, when she's in the prequel parts, there's no combat at all.
Okay.
It's just her interacting with her friend.
That's what I figured.
And it's all character development. It's all really learning who the two of them are, learning about their relationship. And, you know, I've never been a teenage girl, but the way I picture them interacting is probably the way teenage girls really interact. So it's really well written, and it's touching.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you really, once again, you fall for these characters. And that's all to the credit of the people that write for Naughty Dog. I mean, it's phenomenal. On the topic of combat, though, if we discuss that, the cool thing that's kind of introduced in the, I guess we'll call the current timeline of the DLC, when she's searching for medication and stuff like that for Joel, she's inside this mall where there are clickers and infected and bandits. The cool thing that I found within that DLC was, instead of actually fighting the bandits head on, you have the option of alerting the clickers of where the bandits are. So I found myself throwing bottles near the bandits and making the clickers attack them.
Okay.
So I thought that was a really cool feature. It's not really encountered during the main game. So I thought that was a nice little bit of variation from the core gameplay.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds great. Like, it's that price point that's killing me. It really is.
$15 is big, man. But the reason I think that it's so expensive...
That's basically seeing a movie in 3D IMAX.
Yeah, I guess when you put it that way, it kind of justifies
for 2
it.
hours.
Yeah, you can probably beat it in 2 hours. I beat it in about 3.5, just because I was kind of exploring all over the place. And my girlfriend was watching me play it. There was actually a really cool part where the two girls in the past, they go into an arcade, and one of them is narrating. Ellie's friend is narrating as Ellie is pretending to play a video game, because obviously it doesn't work. It's a broken video game inside this arcade, and it's just... It feels like what you would do if you were 14 years old and you really wanted to play this arcade game, but you couldn't. So your friend's narrating it, and you're picturing it inside your head. It's kind of hard to explain, man, but you really have to play it, because it's something I haven't really encountered in a game before. And
I want to play it. I really do, because I like Last of Us. The story of it's amazing. It's one of the better games that we've played in recent memory. But
the price point is up there, man. But it's definitely worth the cost of entry, I'll call it.
Okay. So then you recommend it?
100%. If you enjoyed The Last of Us, if you enjoyed the characters and the plot and the story, and there's really no reason not to play it.
Fair enough.
Price point aside, yes, it's a little expensive, but you won't regret it.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to say about it?
I think I kind of went a little too long-winded with it as is, so
okay.
We'll just leave it at that.
Well, fair enough. All right, well, we move on to the Lego Movie.
So both me and Chris had a chance to watch this movie, and Jesus Christ, is that a pleasant surprise? Like,
yeah, because it easily could have turned into like just a 2-hour Lego commercial.
But it wasn't that at all. There was so much heart to this movie. There was a lot of heart to this movie.
Yeah,
like
as you were saying, I think
it hit the feels really hard.
you do get the feels, definitely. It's a fun, entertaining movie. It's very witty. There's a lot of great jokes in it that like maybe even go over the head of kids, but like the adults kind of pick up on it. Like, damn, that was smart.
Some good cultural references.
Yeah, there's just a lot of content in this movie. Like, you have to watch it multiple times to probably get all of those references. I thought that the main plot was very smart. The way that they did it, I don't want to ruin anything, obviously, but it's just fun. It's entertaining, and as you said, it has a lot of feels towards the third act.
Yeah.
The third act hits, and you're like, all right. The first 2 acts is pretty much all Legos. Like, all right, I get it. It's kind of cool. It's smart. I like. Oh, that was a good joke. Batman's awesome. There's some great cameos in it from other Lego characters that we've seen, and then all of a sudden the third act hits, and then you're like, oh,
and everything makes making sense.
Yeah.
And it's just
It kind of ties together, and then the feels happens.
yeah.
Now, give me a little short synopsis of what this is about. Is it actual Lego toys? Is it inside of like a parallel Lego universe?
It's basically a little kid playing with Legos with his hands for 2 hours.
No, I mean, really? Is it?
No.
It's no.
It'd be awesome if it was.
It's hard to say what it is. It's a Lego universe, but like
Everything's Legos.
everything.
Everything's Legos. Like
Like
smoke,
explosion, yeah.
Legos.
Explosions are Legos. Waves are Legos moving up and down and changing color. Like it's crazy. Everything is compiled of Legos.
This movie must have been really difficult to animate.
I was honestly looking at this going, God, I would hate to do this job. Like I'm sure they had some script or whatever, some special plugin they used for wherever they're using, Softimage or Maya or whatever 3D program they were using to animate this.
Mm-hmm.
They must have used some script for this, but like I was looking, I'm like, wow, this took a lot of time and patience. Well, it always does, but like particularly for this movie, just having everything compiled of Legos.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, it took patience. But, like, it looked really good, too. I mean, if you play the Lego video games, everything was kind of smooth and shiny, but, like, in this, like, the Legos looked like real plastic Legos. Like, there were the imperfections and all, like, the bump mapping, just the tiny little specks. Like, it was very on point.
Like, when I saw the trailer, I actually thought it might be stop motion.
It did have.
It looked like actual.
It
Lego
had
pieces.
animation style that was very stop motion. Just the way they moved and everything, it was very just stiff, like you would imagine like a Lego to move as well. So like, oh god, the art crew behind this did a phenomenal job, hands down. But
so it wasn't just a movie that was a cash in on the Lego craze.
Oh, not at all, not at all.
No, it's got the caliber of like your Toy Story or your Pixar movie. It's there. I mean, they did a hell of a job with the story. They did a hell of a job with pretty much all aspects of this thing. And like I said, like even the voice acting and like the actors that were involved in this was amazing. Morgan Freeman,
Chris Pratt does a really good job as the main character.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Pratt, he is an up and comer. He's blowing up this year. Basically, you're going to see him. People who don't know the name, even now,
Star-Lord.
He's Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy upcoming. He's Andy on Parks and Rec.
Which is I love him on that show.
Yes, he's so good at this show.
Yeah, but like you probably know the face if you saw it maybe, but like you're going to know him by the end of this year. By the end of 2014, you are going to know who this dude is.
Yeah.
He's going to blow up. And he is the voice of the main character in here. Just a normal, everyday, normal-looking Lego that you just kind of get from a construction set. And you're like, whatever. And he has a story. And it's awesome.
It's so good. It's just so clever on so many levels as well.
Yeah, you have a ton of different cameos from all the different Lego sets.
So we know Batman's in it. So we've got DC Legos. Are there, without any major spoilers, can you guys discuss any of the other Lego worlds that are explored?
Pirates, like an old spaceship one, which is
like
hilarious.
A 70s or 80s spaceship dude.
It's hilarious because it's played by Charlie Day, and he's so excited to build spaceships. He's like, spaceship! It's great.
Very cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ones. There's the Western ones. I mean, there's...
Yeah, the thing is, like, they break through realms to these other Lego worlds.
Now, other than DC, are there any other licensed worlds that we encounter in this movie?
There could be. I don't really want to get into it.
Okay, spoilers. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't want
to... not huge spoilers, not like spoilers to the plot, but I mean, it's awesome when it happens.
Yeah, like, I just want you to experience it.
Okay.
I don't want to be like, and this happened, and then you're like watching it like, oh yeah, Chris told us that. Like, that's cool, I guess. But like, when I experienced it, like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Was it kind of like the first time you saw Wreck-It Ralph, and you saw the little characters in the background?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
cool.
It was.
Yes, because,
Yeah, I definitely go with that. But like even with the DC characters, I mean, you're gonna see like Wonder Woman, you're gonna see Green Lantern, Superman, and there's like great interactions between the DC characters just with them. Liam Neeson plays the bad cop, which is the main villain in the game in the movie. It's a great voice cast. The script is really tight. For like a cartoon or like a movie like this, the script is really well made.
Who made the movie? It's not Pixar or anything like that, is it? DreamWorks? Or?
It was Warner Brothers, I want to say.
I don't know, to be honest.
I want to say it was Warner Brothers.
So it's not one of the main two studios that you usually go to for
it's
these...
definitely not Pixar.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, to make a long story short, recommend this movie. Go see it.
Yeah, like, especially if you had kids who enjoy it, but I saw it by myself in the theater like a lonely bastard, and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, me and my daughter went to go see it, and we both loved it. Everybody I've talked to since has loved it. Like, I have not heard a bad thing about this movie. All ages. It's just fun and entertaining. Definitely a day one Blu-ray purchase for me.
Okay. Maybe I'll try to catch a matinee then.
Highly recommend it, man.
Oh.
For sure.
All right, so what's next?
I'm saying 3.5 out of 4.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll go up there with you. I'll
Okay.
agree with that. It's that much fun, man.
Best movie of the year so far?
Well, we're in freaking February, and like January is notorious for like crap movies.
Have you seen anything else this year? That actually came out this
I
year?
probably have. I just haven't I can't think of what I've seen so far.
RoboCop?
I've not seen RoboCop yet. I hope to see it this week so we can talk about it next week because we kind of bashed it, and then I've heard some positive things about it.
Okay.
So I'm interested in seeing it.
I will try to see it this week
So
as well.
I think that's going to be a goal for us by the next time we record our next podcast. At least two of us will get the opportunity to see that movie, and we can talk about it and get into it a little bit more. Because, I mean, RoboCop is just like the 80s classic movie
Yeah.
that should not be remade. And they remade it. So I kind of want to talk about what they did with it. Moving on to the gaming news. We were talking about Last of Us, or Adam was at least talking about Last of Us. The creative director for it said there's a 50-50 shot for a sequel, which surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like-
You think it'd be a higher chance.
Like,
I don't know. I don't think so at all.
shit, I was thinking with Adam. I'm like,
Really?
greenlit all the way. I thought they
The
were already
game
working
made so
on it.
much money.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like Naughty Dog is one of those companies that has integrity, and
Yeah.
it ended on such a note that I feel like this is the Last of Us story. This is it.
Sure. But there's...
we'll give you the DLC to expand that story, but this is it. I felt like they just.
Well, here's the way I picture it, Alex. I'm going to picture it in kind of a 28 days later scenario, where the sequel, 28 weeks later, focused on different characters. So we know the entire world, or at least the United States, is infected by
Fair enough.
the cordyceps. I'd like to see another story.
Fair enough. Okay, I will get behind you on that, but I think it'd be weird to see another story with Joel and
See?
Joel and Ellie's story is over.
play whatever.
I don't agree with that. I want to see Joel and Ellie again because of the way that they set up the ending. Yes, it could just be a one-off or a one-shot. However, the way that Joel's evolution of his character has gone through, I think it's a good way to continue the series just the way that it ended.
I think it would only ruin the plot to the first game.
Because it adds a completely different dimension to the characters at the end of part one, where I can see that expanding onto a new development for the characters. Be like, all right,
I see exactly what you're saying.
we've gone from point A to point B, and through that there is development for C to happen now.
Yes.
And I can definitely carry on with those characters. I wouldn't want to see a Last of Us that is different characters.
I completely disagree, man. I don't want to have that elaborated on. I want that to be kind of ambiguous. I want that to be my ending in my head. I think...
Well, apparently Naughty Dog does too.
I'm going to put words in Naughty Dog's mouth here and say that it's almost like one of those movies that ends ambiguously like that, and you kind of have to, imagine yourself what it's going to be. And it's everybody's got their own ending or their own version of what happens after The Last of Us ends. And I don't want an official ending to that.
Okay.
I want it ambiguous.
And I think, like I was saying, like I think Naughty Dog maybe was kind of in the same boat with you because it's only a 50-50 shot for a sequel. And I thought for sure that that's the direction they were going with that ending. Like, all right, well, they set up the sequel fairly well enough that you got a satisfying ending with part 1, and they could easily carry on to a part 2. But I think you're right in that regard. I think that maybe that they want to kind of leave it ambiguous.
Well, I mean, either way, I think a sequel would work. It would, some people would be satisfied. Some people in your boat would be satisfied with continuing with that story, and I'm sure some other people would be on my side where they would want to maybe experience a different plot that happens inside this rich world of infection.
Which kind of like just shows just how great that storyline is for The Last of Us, the first game, because like there's so many different directions people want to go in, and like it leads to that discussion. It leads to more talking more about it. That's just a great game.
Yeah,
I mean that they did such a good job with that story and that character development. Like that, just like you have to applaud that we're talking about it now. Like 50-50 shot of sequel. Like what? Like no, man. Let's go in this direction.
Man. PS4, Last of Us 2 in 3 years.
Maybe
that's my guesstimate.
But like it's Naughty Dog, and like as you were saying, like that's a great studio.
And they already have 2 teams. One team that works on Uncharted, one team that works on The Last of Us.
We're gonna see an Uncharted for the PS4. What are we? Maybe they won't do a Last of Us. Maybe they'll have another new IP or something.
Crash Bandicoot for the PS4.
They
on the PSN.
If you actually, one of the topics that we have in this week's podcast is the documentary that's for free on Amazon, regarding The Last of Us, and they actually discuss after Uncharted 2 when they were going to make the next game, their original plan was going to be another Jak and Daxter, but then they decided to do a brand new IP.
Okay.
So I don't see them doing another Jak and Daxter right now.
I was asking Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. My bad. Sorry, dude.
That's a platformer. Close enough.
Yeah.
But no, since you mentioned it, Last of Us documentary Grounded is on Amazon Instant, and it's free.
And it's awesome.
And Adam and I watched it, and I really enjoyed it. You get to see a lot of the characters, the thought process behind it, them talking about doing a brand new IP, and them kind of being like, we're kind of worried about this.
How hard it was, yeah.
Right. They're like, you don't understand how hard it is to create a new IP for people. It's not this easy thing, like, oh, we got this crazy idea, and then people just run with it. Creating a brand new world, creating a brand new environment, like, oh, shit, they kind of talk about that. And it's a really interesting, I think it's an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half, yeah. So it's a good length
documentary,
yeah.
Last of Us documentary, it's called Grounded. Look it up on Amazon.
It's free. I mean, stream it on there. It's definitely worth a view if you're into the world of The Last of Us.
Yeah, you get to see the voices behind the characters and the main characters and how they did it. You see Nolan North talking about his character and like his thought process behind it, like how he wanted to create this guy. And
I guarantee everybody that watches this documentary is going to be blown away by the dude that voices Joel.
Oh yeah,
Troy Baker, I think his name was. I had no idea that this dude was so young looking, and I mean he's an experienced voice actor, but looks nothing like what I expected a voice actor to look like for Joel, at least in my head, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and then you get to see the director, like, they act out the scenes in, like, mocap suits and stuff like that, so, like, they're getting all these ideas for it, and, like, there's one part of the documentary where that dude is talking about, like, yeah, we got this scene. We did this scene. I did it in a couple takes. We're good. Let's move on. Because it was, like, a really hard scene for them to do.
A very emotional scene, yeah.
And then the director comes back and is like, no, we need to do this again. And he's like, no, dude, we got this, you know? But, like, it kind of goes into, like, how much they cared about, like, making this right and genuine and you wanting to get the feels for these characters. Because they cared.
Yeah.
And you see that across this documentary. And that's the awesome part about it. In video games, you know, a lot of people don't take video game, like, I don't want to say, like, seriously, because, like, they'll phone in performances just for voices just to get the cash or whatever like that. But, like, Naughty Dog really, like, stepped it up in this.
Well, the cool thing about them is they actually do the voice recording and the mocap all at once. A lot of other studios will have one actor doing motion capture, and another guy sitting, at a stool in front of a book or a script reading off lines, where it's not going to feel authentic. Whereas if you have a guy, jumping over a wall or whatever and hiding behind something, pretending to be in this scene, as actors do, he's going to be a little more vested in that voice acting gig.
Oh yeah, it definitely adds to the realism for sure. Moving on. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare launches this week.
Yeah.
And they're not going to have microtransactions at the beginning.
Even better.
Which is even better. Because, a lot of people were kind of concerned about that regarding that because Plants vs. Zombies 2, a lot of microtransactions involved. And I was kind of worried about that with Garden Warfare, to be honest with you. But Garden Warfare looks great. I'm really excited about that. Another multiplayer game that I probably would try to stay away from, but after watching the gameplay footage from E3, watching a lot of the trailers and stuff like that, I'm interested in this. I want to play this game.
Yeah,
this looks like a game for me, and I'm happy that there's not microtransactions because microtransactions kind of scare me. I don't want to play games like that. Like Forza, I wanted to play Forza, but then there's so much microtransactions. Maybe I don't want to play that.
It's you don't want to be worse at a game than other players because players are just
devoting more money to
it. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's unauthentic in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I've been turned off by microtransactions since Dead Space 3. I thought they weren't as big of a part of the game and they weren't required, but I thought to me it just ruined the feel of it.
You know what? Right away, yeah. Right when you pop in that disc, you have the opportunity to get some microtransactions that will help you out getting different things. I didn't necessarily think about that, but you're right. That does bother me.
Yeah.
That kind of does suck.
I never do microtransactions. I've never done it, and I refuse to ever do them.
I admit I'm kind of a sucker for that stuff. There's
I'm judging you now.
I'll pop in a game disc. I'll use Dead Space 3. That you brought that up.
You mean I can unlock the best gun in the game right off the bat for $4?
Yeah, and because I'm not very good at gaming, that appeals to me. It's oh shit, it's only $4. Maybe I'll do that. Or they have some bots or some salvage stuff or something like that.
Yeah.
That I was looking at the list of stuff that I can purchase. And I'm you can get this 15% faster or something like that. I'm I don't even know what that is, but it's it's faster. Maybe that's better.
And I think that's why microtransactions are so successful, man. Most people,
because idiots like me.
It's like going to the supermarket and they have all the candy right at the register. It's that impulse buy. You're I wasn't thinking about getting a Snickers, but fuck it, they're 2 for $1.
Yeah, and then 30 pounds, later it's bad. But I'm a sucker for them. I guess that I'm their focal point at this point. Where they're oh yeah, let's just throw some microtransactions.
I'm
some
so
idiot
cheap, motherfucker. So it's not for me.
That's the smart thing. I wish I was like that, but I'm just happy that it doesn't have microtransactions at the beginning of this game. I'm excited for it.
It's going to make it really unbalanced at the very beginning if they do that.
Yeah.
The game's $40 right off the bat. You have another $20 for the best gun in the game. It's gonna suck.
Yeah. In a game it's a first person shooter.
Third person.
So a goofy third-person shooter where obviously you're going to be unlocking different weapons and things along those lines. Like Alex said, if you were given the option to buy those weapons right off the bat, it'd be even more of a game killer than a single-player experience because
you're playing against other. It's a solely multiplayer game, so if it gets that unbalanced at the very beginning, people aren't going to enjoy it.
They're not going to play it. They're going to play a couple rounds, get killed by the dude that spent $40 on weapons and outfits and armor and whatever the case may be that's available in the game, and they're going to be screw this, I'm going to go back to Titanfall
that happens with
Battlefield or
Screw
whatever.
you, Smoke Blunts 420, I hate you.
Yeah, that happens with every game or multiplayer though, because you'll log in, you're level 1, there's already somebody that's level 50.
You're it's only been out for 2 minutes, what happened?
How are you possibly this level? And then they just destroy you because they have all the perks, they have everything that they need already, and you're yay, this is fun for the first 20 levels.
It's a game breaker.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of see that in every multiplayer game nowadays.
So basically what we're saying is Popcast being smart about it. And you know what? I feel like they are taking a really smart, the first time I heard PopCap was going to the 3D realm for like a next gen system. I'm like, really? This is the Bejeweled guys? And then we saw the first footage. I was like, holy shit, PopCap, what happened here? And so I'm really impressed with what they're doing. So I'm super excited for this, and I think they're taking the right steps.
Oh yeah, for sure. They need to do something like that. And in terms of like pricing and stuff like that, Microsoft has actually been testing lower pricing in digital game news or in digital gaming with the Xbox One. They kind of like testing it out. They put digital copies of like Rise for only $40 on there as a test to see if people are going to be more interested in buying it for a little bit cheaper for a digital download.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about this?
It's definitely going to speak to some people, but at the same time, considering that the hard drive isn't upgradable on the Xbox One yet, I think it's not going to be as big of a hit until larger hard drives are available.
I don't think the hard drive has anything to do with it. I mean, once you buy it, it's going to be linked to your account, so you could delete it off and re-download it whenever you want, I would imagine.
But do you really want to re-download 40, 50 gigs every time you want to play a game?
When are you going to want to fucking replay Rise again, honestly? Like,
that's true.
Honestly, I love games, and I don't sell my games. Like, I don't sell them to a freaking GameStop or anything. I keep them all because I never know when the urge may hit to play it. It never does, but I have it just in case.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, I would delete it knowing that I wouldn't play it again. But at least if I did have that option where I wanted to play it enough to download again, I'd download it again. So...
Yeah, I'm with Alex on this boat. I want them to experiment with this, and I want these to be successful because if it's successful, they're going to do it more often.
Yeah, and then other companies will have to follow suit.
Right, and it's the evolution that we need to take for people to be more comfortable with digital download. If we want to convert to digital download, then they need to start it off with like giving us the first taste is free type of thing, like with crack. If you get it, it's going to be cheaper. And it's going to be better. So once you convert to that, I think it's the way to go, man. Like, give us that first taste for a little bit cheaper. Like, all right, you want to do digital download? Here's the game for $30, or here's the game for $40. You can buy the physical copy if you want, but it's full price. It's $60.
That's how you get hooked on heroin.
That's what I'm saying. It's like crack. You know, give me that first taste, and then I'll start getting more and more into that, and I'll be more comfortable with it. This is what they need to do. I think all companies need to do that. Get on board, sell the digital copy for a little bit cheaper, and people will start getting that and getting used to it and being okay with it. And the evolution happens. Boom, 3 or 4 years down the road, we're all digital.
And that's the perk of digital distribution is in the end it will be cheaper.
In theory.
Yeah.
In theory.
In theory, but once it goes all digital, then there's no precedent for them to be like, well, we don't have to sell this shit for cheaper anymore because they're not getting physical copies, so fuck it. It's $60.
Still gonna sell it for $60, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, in theory, it should be cheaper, but realistically, I doubt it will be.
But I think it's going to vary from company to company. I mean,
and you know what? That'd be good. I think it'd be good to have that variety. You know, paying $60 for a AAA game, okay, but then paying $60 for another game that's not necessarily AAA. It's good, but not necessarily AAA. That's I think it'd be good to have that variety.
Which is smart on PopCap's behalf, using Garden Warfare only at $40.
Right.
That could easily have been come out at $60, and people would probably just buy it just because they're used to paying that $60 price point. So it's coming out at $40. I think that's a good price point for Garden Warfare.
I would definitely drop $40 on it.
Yeah.
Like,
so I think that it's a smart move on their behalf, especially with microtransactions eventually happening with that game.
Yeah.
But okay, so you guys think it's good that they're testing this out?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you buy it? Like, you personally, would you go out and be like, all right, I won't use Rise as an example because that's like something that you guys haven't bought or like have any interest in. Mm-hmm. But like, say Infamous. Say Sony comes out and says,
"Oh shit, yeah."
Says like, all right, Infamous is coming out. You can get the physical copy for $60. However, we're going to do digital download because we want to test this out and see how it is. $40.
Oh, definitely.
If it was that big of a price gap, then yes.
Okay.
I would do if it was $50.
For that extra $10, dude, I'd rather have the case on my shelf and display it next to my other games.
For $10, you'd rather
if
do
it's
that.
just a $10 price point, it's not enough of a gap for me to go digital only. If it's a $20, that's a 33% discount. If it's $20 discount, I'd say yeah, I'll do the digital, just because that's $20 is a big difference.
Gee, that's really interesting to me. And Alex, you do $50 in the perfect.
Here's the thing, like, I don't have a lot of room, so if I'm running out of shelf space, and I really don't have place to put more shelf space. So if I could get games just digitally, perfect. I don't have to worry about all this fucking clutter in my room. It's all on my hard drive that I could just pack on a nice little device and delete if I don't want and re-download if I want again.
Right.
It's perfect for me for that sense. But I don't feel the need to have to show it off. Like, hey, here's my collection. If I want to show my collection, I'm like, hey, look at my trophy list. Yeah, I platinumed this one. And I mean, so the people that would care would be friends with me on Xbox or PSN, and they could look at it without looking at my physical library.
Well, let me put a little bit of reasoning behind my preference of the physical copy. So let's say 10, 15 years from now, you have a hankering to play Infamous Second Son.
Okay.
And let's say the PlayStation Network no longer supports the downloading of PlayStation 4 games on your PS4. Let's say that PS4 is completely dead, and you can't download it again. Whereas if you have a physical copy, you can plug in your PS4, pop in the disc, and play it no problem. It's going to be... How do I put it?
That's a valid argument.
I'm trying to think of the word that I'm going to use for this. It's
easier?
I don't know. It's whatever the case may be. I'd rather have a physical copy 10, 15 years down the road because I know that I'll be able to play it. Versus a digital copy if my hard drive goes bad or if I've deleted it and I no longer have the ability to download it, I'm going to have to rebuy it. Which is why I will pretty much always prefer a physical copy just for the sake of being able to play it 10, 15 years down the road.
I hate myself promoting this idea, but I feel like these are the cases where these are valid uses of it, and I would say an emulator. You've bought it, you've technically had it, you've owned it, it is your copy, you deleted it, but you can't get access to it. I've done it for a game just that's broken for mine. It was Vampire Bloodlines Masquerade. I love that fucking game. It's a weird little underground game. I don't want to say underground, but it has a cult following. Yeah. I feel.
Yeah.
And a game disc of it broke, so I torrented it because I didn't want.
What? That's terrible.
It's terrible, but it's because I didn't want to buy a game again that I have because the disc broke. Because it was in a bag and I stepped on it and it broke. So I torrented it. I ended up buying it again on Steam because it was super fucking cheap. But, I feel in that case it'd be okay to do that. Okay. That'd be the rarest of occasions.
Well, I'm sure it's definitely simpler on PC to do something like that.
Right.
Whereas 10, 15 years down the road, it might be more difficult to do something like that for PS4 or PS3 or PS2, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and especially with things like Steam, there's getting more and more controller support for games that you play on PC. I mean, the last two games that I played on Steam, I played with... Actually, the last three, I should say, I've played with a controller hooked up as opposed to using my mouse and keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even in that sense, the line's blurring there. So...
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty dead set on I want to convert to digital. I'm okay with digital. It's interesting. This conversation has kind of piqued my interest a little bit more regarding this because, we're kind of all in different phases regarding this conversion to digital, the evolution of digital copies. I like your idea of the fact that, maybe 10, 15 years, I'll still have that physical copy. I can still go back and play it, thinking about it, hey, there's still N64 games that I like playing.
Yeah.
I can just pop in my N64 and play those right now. I guess I never really thought about it that way. And it's interesting. Alex, I was more towards Alex's side. I'll drop, $50 on a digital copy if I can save $10.
Mm-hmm.
Not thinking about 10 years ahead. But it's gonna happen eventually, but I guess having the physical copy is still kind of that we're still in that phase of our lives right now where it's like
we're old school like that, man.
we still want to have those physical copies. Like for movies, for me personally, I've been trying to convert it to digital as much as possible because like I like the cloud idea and just being able to stream
Here's the
like
thing,
that.
I was going to bring that up. Okay, we're doing digital and stuff, but I think it needs to be more towards cloud-based systems instead of everything being stored on your device. It's stored in the Ethernet. It's stored in the air magically.
Like you own that copy, then you can just go to that.
And you could stream it like on live.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an on live account. I rarely ever use it, but it's not something it's not taking up a lot of space. It's just the program of OnLive.
Mm-hmm.
The few games I have on OnLive aren't taking up space on my computer. They're taking up space in the realm of magic bits of zeros and ones.
Yeah.
In space somewhere. So
Yeah.
I think that's where digital down. It's not even digital download. It's just digital copies is going to really take its full effect.
Yeah. And we could probably talk about this for an hour, but like it's an interesting theory, or there's definitely interesting pros and cons to this thing. I like your ideas. I think that you brought up something that makes me think a little bit differently about it, but it's a good thing to talk about. So if you guys have any questions or you guys have any like responses or you want to add to this conversation, let us know. Like shoot us like an email. We give out all our information at the end of the podcast, but like we like talking about this. So let us know, give us some information on like what you guys think about it, because that'd be great to talk about.
Maybe a different point of view, you know? If you think one of us is wrong, or usually Chris
Adam
is wrong. So.
Most of the time Adam's wrong. But yeah, it's just something to talk about, and I love this conversation, so I'd love to talk about it to death. But we have to move on in the podcast, and the biggest story for gaming news this week was Irrational Games.
Dude.
The dudes behind BioShock and BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, I mean,
among other games.
This is the BioShock franchise.
Dude.
Irrational Games.
Closing their doors.
It's crazy when you think about that.
But
Like,
here's the thing. Give it a little bit of a background. It's not like the other studios that we've talked about in the past closing their doors because they had to. Ken Levine, the CEO, president, whatever he is of Irrational, just decided to do it.
it wasn't a financial decision, you're right. It was just like, hey, we want to go smaller. We're going to go in this other route.
Kevin Levine is a very story.
Kevin or Ken? What is it?
Kevin Levine, right?
I thought it was Ken.
No.
I think it's Kevin.
Yes, it's Kevin. I follow him on Twitter.
No, fair enough.
I see his name on Twitter all the time.
You're so cool.
I am cool. I don't think he followed me back though, so I feel a little
son
snubbed.
of a bitch.
I know. I feel a little snubbed.
He's too busy closing down the studio.
But yeah, I mean, he's a very story-driven person. You get that from BioShock Infinite and even BioShock and all his other games. So like, I feel like him going smaller is perfect because I mean that's really what indie is. Indie is very story-driven. I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
It's Kevin. Or, sorry, it's Ken.
Yeah.
Damn it!
It's Ken Levine.
Told you I was right.
You know what?
And, yeah, no, it's Ken.
Damn it! I feel like an idiot.
It's cool, man. We still like you.
Ken
I don't
doesn't,
like
though.
me.
Ken hates you now.
That's probably why he doesn't follow me on Twitter because I get his name wrong
You're
all
following
the time.
completely the wrong guy. Some guy
Right?
named Kevin Levine.
Some
You know
guy
what?
living in his
I think
basement.
it's just I see the V in Levine, and I think it transposes to the first name.
Fair enough.
Okay,
Some guy in his 40s.
regardless,
Completely irrelevant to life. He's like,
Yeah.
somebody followed me on Twitter today. And like, he told his mom. And like, it's this huge thing. Like, this guy, Alex, followed me. It's awesome.
he has a podcast that nobody listens to.
There's like some people.
I know there's some people, and we enjoy that you listen to it. We like that you listen to us.
Thank you, Kevin Levine.
But yeah, anyways, this seems like a move that would be perfect for him. It sucks for the rest of the studio.
That's a lot of people losing jobs, man.
Yeah, but I mean, shit. They're like, hey, I worked on BioShock. Give me a job. They're like, oh, okay. Like, it's not going to be hard for them to find a job.
They'll find jobs. I mean,
Yeah.
the cool thing about what Ken is doing, I almost called him Kevin because of you. What Ken is
Such
doing
a
is
bastard that way.
they're
Kevin.
going to be holding a job fair at the studio itself, inviting other studios to interview the people that they're letting go. So he's not completely dicking over his former coworkers and staff and all that. He's actually kind of looking out for him, saying, hey, I know this is going to suck for everybody but 15 of you, so I'm going to invite a bunch of other studios here, and you guys can talk to them and maybe get some jobs.
The other cool thing about the gaming industry is, like, when stuff like this happens and other companies close down, like, there's always this, like, support from other companies, like on Twitter or like stuff like that, where they're always like trying to get other people to come back. Like, hey, I understand you just lost your job from our company. Come to our company and we'll try to help you out. There's that community, I feel, with the gaming industry that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tight community.
It really is when you think about it.
People are always kind of looking out for each other there. But
what are we giggling about? There's something going on in the background here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was distracted.
Our
by
studio audience is laughing at Alex for some reason.
I was entranced by, is that Beyonce right now and jiggling on screen? I was like, what's going on there? And I like that.
Alex is distracted by the TV that's on in the background.
Yes, more so by Beyonce.
We're talking about Kevin Levine. Come on, focus. Kevin's pissed right now.
I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry I called you Ken. Wait, no. Anyways, it's a tight community. People are always looking out, and like it's always getting your foot in the door. A lot of those jobs are actually, they tend to be contractual at times, so you go from one studio to another at points. But I mean, you get lucky enough to land a solid job there, and it's always going to be someone to help you out. I mean, look at, what was it, the Kingdoms of Amalur guy, people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were a lot of people, looking to help these guys out once that studio shut down. So, I mean, it's a community that looks out for each other. And that's really freaking cool.
Right, and then you see that a lot, and that's what I like about this community and the gaming communities like that. 2K is still interested in making more BioShock stuff, so we'll kind of see who...
It won't be the same.
Oh, it will never be the same now.
I mean, look at BioShock 2. Come on.
That's true. I mean, maybe we'll get something more like that. So, BioShock is still going to exist, even though Irrational Games doesn't. They're just going to go with different developers to make those games, and we'll see. We'll see what it turns out. Maybe it's going to be good. Maybe a huge studio takes it on. Maybe a BioWare or something like that. But like, yeah, let us try it.
Or Telltale did a BioShock game.
They could.
That'd
be. I mean, shit. That's a huge company right now.
That's
Telltale can't do. Yeah.
How many games are they working on? We got Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us,
Game of Thrones,
Tales from the Borderlands.
Are
they still doing the Law and Order one? That's supposed to be an episodic one that they're working on. I don't know.
I'm sure they probably are.
Probably.
I mean, they're all over the place. It's pretty crazy. But moving on to movie news. I would say the biggest thing this week would be the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, everyone's watching that.
Dude, I saw the best meme online regarding this. I know this is going to kind of diverge off of the main point of Guardians of the Galaxy.
I probably know exactly which one you're talking about.
But there's a picture of Paul Kent talking to Superman, and it says, DC Comics, the world is not ready for Wonder Woman, right? And then there's a picture of Rocket Raccoon, and Marvel's like, fuck it, here's a raccoon that talks. And that's why Marvel's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Before the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer came out, I saw some test footage on Imager with Rocket and Groot, and it looked fucking awesome.
Oh god, yeah, dude.
It
looks so awesome. Like,
it doesn't look too cartoony. It looks like a raccoon that was biologically engineered to be badass.
Oh my god, I was so excited. And then like the trailer came out, and it's like, okay, that's Chris Pratt being amazing as Star-Lord.
Yeah.
I'm honest, like I was talking to Alex about it a little bit. I'm a little worried about Andy Dwyer coming out in a little bit of this, because
the character Chris Pratt plays on
Parks and Rec. Like, am I going to see that, or am I going to see Star-Lord? So I'm a little nervous about that regard. However, the rest of the trailer is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
it honestly really is.
Like, holy crap. And no, I was skeptical. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy, really? This is what they're going to do next?
So obscure. Yeah.
Something like Ant-Man, like, you know, I mean, Ant-Man's like more popular than Guardians of the Galaxy. And like, shit, I'm still worried about Ant-Man, but like, I saw this trailer and I'm like, yes, I am fucking sold. I'm like, I want to watch this movie like
Back to back, twice.
Yeah, I want to see this movie. I cannot wait for this because it's something Marvel hasn't done with all the other movies. It's something so far out there. Like, you have a fucking raccoon with a machine gun.
It's more far out than the Thor movies, and the Thor movies are heavily CG with, you know, Asgard and all that, and it's even crazier than that.
And they're doing a more comedic thing, which is a little bit different.
You got that impression by the trailer,
which I think it's going to be because
it's not going to be a comedy movie by any means. It'll be an action flick with a lot of humor to it.
Right, and that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I want in this movie. And
it'll be like Rush Hour.
Like Rush Hour?
No, I'm kidding.
I really hope I did.
Okay.
What? No. But yeah, I'm excited for this.
It's the direction it has to go. 'Cause if it was like a super serious movie with a talking raccoon, it just wouldn't work, man. It's, you know, the voice actor I think that they chose specifically for Rocket, Bradley Cooper. I think it's a great choice, man.
Yeah. Well, we tweeted the footage of the different characters, the introduction of all the characters, and you actually see him talking and acting, and you're like, yeah, this works. This works really good.
Definitely. And
really well, excuse me.
Vin Diesel does...
I talk good.
Vin Diesel's going to have basically one line in the movie, because Groot, all he says is, I am Groot. That's the only thing he knows how to say, so he's probably going to say it in a number of different ways, but I'm actually kind of excited to see that, man.
Yeah, dude, you have no idea how excited I am about this.
Well, you love Vin Diesel, so...
Yeah.
He's like your favorite guy in the whole world.
He's your BFF that he doesn't know
I wish
about.
he was my BFF. You know how awesome that would be? I'd just be fucking talking about, like, dude, this fucking Vin Diesel over here. That's my boy. Like, whatever. Not a big deal. We hang out.
We sip on Bacardi together.
You know, Triple X? I was there. It's cool. But yeah. I'm excited for this. And, like, the trailer is awesome. Like, John C. Reilly. Like, holy shit.
I did not expect to see him.
No.
I did not.
Neither did I.
And, like, they're talking about, like, they call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, oh my god, that was perfect. The comedic beats on it was perfect in the trailer. So it's great.
Come on, guys. Star-Lord.
If you haven't seen the trailer, which I don't know who hasn't seen the trailer at this point, go check it out.
It is a great 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, you'll laugh. It's great. It's awesome. Anchorman 2 is going to hit theaters again in an alternate version because they did so many scenes that they're just going to have an alternate version with a whole bunch of different...
Is it just a blooper reel?
Pretty much.
It's pretty much what they did with the first one. If you got the first one on DVD, there is, I think it's probably the special edition, there is essentially a second movie. Because there was so much footage that was cut from it, they were able to recompile it into another movie that you can watch if you got like the special edition DVD. There's like this. Oh yeah, there's like this whole other.
It wasn't very good.
No,
it was not. Very good.
It wasn't great. No, but it's like with like these like special activists, like these right. They're.
I don't.
It's been a while since I watched it, but they were like environmental activists, and there's like a story with that. It was weird, but I feel like this is essentially what this recut is. It's the same thing. There's supposed to be like 800 new jokes.
800.
They counted them?
Yeah. Well, okay. They said.
What do they qualify as a joke?
I don't know. It said that a completely alternate cut of the recent comic sequel with 763 new jokes.
Wow, that's very specific.
Yeah, they said that. So like, it's like you guys did a lot of takes of improv. Basically, every single scene they did, like, all right, and do this however you want, and they kept it all.
Well,
and
even if the director, I'm sure, with a movie that has these actors specifically tied to it, even if the director said follow the script exactly, I feel like those guys would have dicked around no matter what and just kind of done their own thing.
But like at the same time, like you don't see that coming out in theaters. You don't see the re-release of this. Like, hey, here's an alternate cut in theaters.
It's a weird decision.
Like. A weird thing about it is, like, I love Anchorman. I love that first movie. I watched it a billion times. I didn't get a chance to go see part 2 in the theaters. I haven't seen it yet.
Neither have I.
I don't think, yeah.
All three of us haven't seen it yet. And there's a whole new cut coming. It's kind of weird. Like, I didn't hear very much positive, didn't hear any feedback. It kind of just exists.
Yeah.
You know, not a lot of people were talking about
What's
it.
the thing about
The
the
first
original
one.
Anchorman? It's one of those movies.
Right, but like that's now been established. That's like that cult following had exploded after the fact. But like the fact that I haven't seen Anchorman 2 kind of says something about it. You guys haven't seen it yet.
And the three of us love the first movie.
No one talks about Anchorman 2 really that I've like amongst my friends or anything like that. It's just like it came out. I thought there was a really smart marketing by it.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Burgundy cameos all over the damn world.
Yeah.
Just showing up in random things.
When he first announced it as Ron Burgundy on Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, I mean, there was this great marketing behind it, and like I have not heard anything about it. It's so weird. But yeah, new cut coming out in theaters, coming out soon. One thing I did want to talk about was the new poster for Godzilla. Do you guys take a look at this thing yet?
Yes.
No.
You have not seen it?
I have not seen it.
It's pretty badass.
You know what? I've been being sold by the trailer, so I'm sure that the poster is telling me as well. Let me look at it.
It's got a definite old school Godzilla vibe to it.
Right. Now,
That's awesome.
the reason that I wanted to point this out was it shows the skyline, and Godzilla is
Hugely
He
towering
is
over it.
towering over
he is
that.
towering over the skyline. How big is this fucking version of Godzilla?
Like twice as big as the old one.
Like you see Godzilla in every previous incarnation of him, like kind of like the size of buildings and stuff like that,
Slightly
which is
taller
still
than
big.
buildings, yeah.
Which is still freaking big. The Cloverfield monster size of buildings, and all of a sudden you see this Godzilla poster, and he is fucking like the size of 3 buildings compared to a building.
Two.
2 buildings.
Okay,
Oh,
2
at
buildings.
least the height. He's
2.5.
twice as tall.
I'll go in the middle. 2.5. All right.
Fair enough.
He's fucking gigantic.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It might
What
just
the
be,
shit is that?
It might just be the scaling on the poster. Maybe they're just trying to make a point that he's big. Maybe in the movie he's not that huge. 'Cause-
Maybe he's on a miniature set right now.
That is like the Ron Jeremy of fucking Godzillas. That thing is gigantic.
He's a big monster.
I don't understand it, man. Like, that's crazies.
Maybe that's the right step to make. Make him more hardcore and more difficult to defeat.
We need to make robots. I think we need to make some giant fucking robots to fight this Godzilla.
Are you talking about a mecha Godzilla, maybe?
No, like we should
I-
like build robots and like have pilots inside of these robots.
Like, what would we call these robots?
Geigers?
Maybe.
Okay, let's call them Geigers.
Let's call them Geigers. Fuck it. But yeah, we need to do something about this Godzilla because this thing is fucking a monster. I just wanted to point that out. Like, go check out this poster because it's ridiculous. He's 2.5 times larger than the buildings. It's crazy.
2.25 times larger.
All right, 2.25.
Or are we going by the average height of all the buildings, or the tallest building?
After the
or-
podcast, we'll measure it and we'll see exactly how tall he is
Okay.
compared to this. We're not
Coming at you next episode.
We're not going to do that. Lastly, Amazing Spider-Man 2. We've seen all the villains coming out. The newest villain, Green Goblin. New picture of him come online.
Looks kind of weird.
I have a question that's going to be directed at the creative costume directors or designers, whatever you want to call them, on this movie.
Kevin Levine.
How do you make Spider-Man's outfit so fucking awesome, and then everybody else looks so stupid in this movie? Electro looks stupid. The Rhino looks stupid. And now Green Goblin looks stupid. What's going on with this movie?
You hate Spider-Man.
Dude, the first movie sucked balls. But, like, the new Spider-Man suit looks so good. Looks so good, and everything else just ruins it. It's a giant fail. That's all it is. That's my opinion, at least. I mean, that's the way I feel about it. What do you guys think?
I think that it's probably the best the Goblin I've ever seen.
You're stupid.
No, it's definitely better than Franco's Extreme X Games version of
The Goblin 2, yeah.
Definitely better than that. I think it's better than Defoe's Mask.
No.
Yes.
No, dude.
Look,
I did not like the Mecha Goblin. I thought it was weird, honestly.
I didn't like the William Dafoe mask goblin either. I don't want to.
No, I'm not sold on this by any means. I like it better than the other versions,
Yes, I agree with that.
but I'm not sold on it.
It made sense to me. The Willem Dafoe goblin mask helmet thing made sense in that universe where obviously he wasn't going to be an actual goblin. You know, like the original screen tests showed an actual, latex mask.
Which were amazing. Those were
They were cool, but they wouldn't have fit in with
The universe.
Yeah.
You know what? That's weird. Now that I think about how Rhino's very mecha,
Yeah, he's a robot. What the fuck?
and they're not going mecha with Green Goblin in this one. I don't know. But I mean, if they're going more ultimate route, Rhino is mecha in ultimate. I want to say. I don't remember Green Goblin, honestly. It's been a while since
I'd rather see Mecha Rhino versus a overweight
Mecha Rhino
dude.
makes more sense than a Mecha Goblin. If that makes any fucking sense. God.
Yeah, we're talking about Green Goblin here in a Spider-Man movie. But, yes, you're right. The first movie did suck balls.
Yes.
I will point that out. And, seriously, I'm still annoyed by that. There's so many things I'm annoyed by with that movie. There's so many things.
We talk about it to this day. Randomly, anytime somebody's using a Bing search, we're like, Spider-Man sucked.
Seriously. But, okay, if you're the principal of that school and... Okay, Peter Parker just destroyed one of your basketball rims.
Yeah.
And then he goes and destroys your goalposts. Don't you be like, who the fuck is going to pay for all this shit? Seriously? Who the fuck is ruining my school?
And what
Taxpayers.
steroids? What steroids is this kid on?
Yeah. And then, the other side of that is, the basketball coach would be like, hey, man, I'm kind of interested in you joining the team, maybe.
Yeah.
You just jump from the three-point line and dunk the ball like Shaq.
No, the coach is just going to call the NBA and be like, I've got this guy.
Right?
It's really good.
At the very least, don't you think you contact Peter Parker? Like, hey, man, I saw what you did there with bending the goalpost. Maybe you want to play. So, what? Okay, sorry. That's my, end rant. But seriously, the principal would be pissed.
Yes.
For reals. But yeah, Green Goblin. I want to say I'm okay with it based on what I've seen from Electro and Rhino. So I don't know.
I don't like any of the villain designs for this new movie. I'm going on record to say that. I think they all look stupid.
I think there's too many villains, but I mean, they want to introduce Sinister Six. They want to do all this crazy shit with it. God, I'd love to see a Marvel Spidey just to see what they would do. And their version of what Goblin might have been, or what what would Marvel do with a Goblin in a movie? I'm kind of interested versus what Sony's doing. Again, for people who don't know, this is not a Marvel Studios film that's coming out. Sony's has the rights to this. Sony's going to be making this movie just like they did with the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four recently announced their cast for the next Fantastic Four movie, which is something completely different off the wall. We can talk about that next, I guess. I didn't put that on the news list, but we probably should talk about that a little bit. But yeah, I would love to see what Marvel Studios does with the Spider-Man movie and the Green Goblin. But I'm okay with this, given the universe they've already established with the first new Spider-Man. And Adam hates it.
I still hate it.
I'm not trying to convince you.
I think I'm very apathetic towards it.
Okay, fair enough. So, kind of three different opinions. We're like, whatever.
I'm the chromatic balance.
All right,
I am
so
the yin to everyone's yang.
I am going to add really quickly Fantastic Four. I didn't put it on the news stories, like I said. So, this is the extra story. New cast. Given out
For the reboot.
And Johnny Storm is an African American character, which is Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
And I love him as an actor. I think he's done a lot of great stuff. Is it the new Johnny Storm? What do you guys think?
Is he adopted?
I don't know story-wise. I have no idea.
Obviously, Sue Storm is still a white girl, so they're brother and sister. Is this another play off of the Ultimate Universe? I don't read the Ultimate comics, so I don't really...
No, it's not a play off the Ultimate Universe by any means.
So it's just the studio being like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah, they went younger with
they went younger with the whole cast.
The whole cast.
And
they
I think
went
that's
young.
what bothers me the most.
Yeah, Reed Richards should be like 40.
He has the gray on the side.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, he doesn't have it.
So-
No, he's a 20-something.
I don't. Yeah, it's weird. Like, honestly, Michael B. Jordan's probably the only casting that I actually like for it. I don't like the girl. She annoyed
I
me.
like her as an actress. I
ne-
really like her in House of Cards.
I've never.
I
really
never
liked
watched
her.
House of Cards. I only remember her from American Horror Story. I don't like American Horror Story. I'm probably one of the few people that actually say that, and I did not like a character at all.
I didn't like season 2.
What?
I didn't like season 2.
Oh.
I haven't watched season 3 yet.
And honestly, I don't remember seeing the other two guys in anything, but that does not work in the favor of Fox at this point.
Yeah, it's an interesting casting choice. It's kind of hard to like say, hey, Fantastic Four is like this huge franchise to begin with. It's kind of been like this comedic, like, oh, okay, it's Fantastic Four or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
No one really gives a shit about it. But now the fact that like they're going into such different route is definitely having people talk about it. But like Michael B. Jordan, I like him, but I don't know as Johnny Storm. I don't know. I think
I feel like you get the attitude of Johnny Storm down, and that's what Johnny Storm is. He's that
Yeah, he's
cocky
cocky,
attitude,
yeah.
and I feel like he'd do that pat, no problem. So, like I said, he's the only one I'm confident in. I mean,
it's just I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. We're kind of we'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's Fantastic Four. Is anybody actually excited for a new Fantastic Four movie?
no, I honestly I never saw the first two. By the first two, I mean the previous.
You're
two.
not missing anything at all.
And that's what I hear. So, like, I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
Chris Evans is a good Human Torch, though.
He was all right.
He was
The
great.
only redeemable factor about the first two movies is at one point you see Jessica Alba in her underwear.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, but
That's
she was
it.
a horrible Sue Storm, though.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not a very good actress.
Everybody was horrible.
Yeah,
Michael Chiklis even.
No,
and he's awesome.
Chris Evans is a good Johnny Storm. I thought Chris Evans did a great job as Johnny Storm.
He did a good job. I wouldn't say great.
I thought
He's a better Captain America than a Johnny
Yeah.
Storm.
I thought he did pretty good. But anyways, that's our show this episode. So how do we reach everybody?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter. My handle there is Alex Sandberg, AlexSanberg, or you can email me directly at the website, alex@lostlevel.com. What about you, Adam?
I'm also on Twitter. You can follow me on there. It's Adam Howlett. It's AtomHowlett. Or you can email me at the site as well. It's going to be adamhowlett@lostlevel.com. This time it's ADAMHOWLETT. And Chris.
All right. Twitter.com/calmintensity is how you can reach me on Twitter. We also have a Twitter page for Lost Level. It's twitter.com/thelostlevel. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/lostlevel. Like us on there. We'd really appreciate it. We're on iTunes as well. You can download our episodes directly from there. Please take a moment to give us some ratings and add some stars for us because we kind of need it to get more listeners. We'd really appreciate that. And that's our episode. We will talk to you guys later.
Bye.